welcome back to the channel. You're watching Reviewed by Tim. I'm Tim Bolden, and if you're new to the channel, thanks for being here. I'm happy to have you. This is hands down one of the most impressive SUVs I've driven. I can't wait to show you guys what makes it so special, so let's get to it. And here's a quick thanks to Billy Howell Ford for allowing me to review the Ford Bronco. Check out this Ford Raptor Bronco they just got in, and they have another one right over there. And obviously all the trucks that you can ever ask for. These guys have been around for almost 50 years. Go check them out. They're gonna make sure you have a great experience. Now let's get back to the video. There is so much to talk about that I'm gonna have to mix some things up here. Usually I go around and talk just about the aesthetic first, but in this situation, we're gonna kind of mix function and aesthetic in the same time. So we're gonna start with the front bumper here and the front grille. Super nice. These LED headlights look so good at night, and I think it reminds everybody of a classic Bronco, right? It has that square front end. I love the classic look. The hood is super nice and flat. Super classic again. It kind of reminds you of the old 80s models, or actually any of the Broncos, because they were all pretty flat. And I love how you have these handles, and what you can do with these, you can use this for accessories to put either a guard on top, or you can even run a cable from right here to the top of your rack. And what it does, when that cable is running from here to there, it stops any bushes from slapping your windshield when you're going through the woods. And you can see there, max load is 150 pounds. So this thing is super sturdy. Look at this front bumper. Do you guys see the clearance that this front bumper is giving you? 35-inch tires. There is nothing to get in the way. Almost like it's a little bit above halfway of the tire. That is where the bumper is starting to guard the tire. Completely solid. Super tough bumper and not soft anywhere, right? Like I was kind of worried on this side that it was going to get kind of flimsy. No. You got some super nice tow hooks here. I also like the black paint there. They did a great job painting everything and keeping it super, super durable. For nice kid play, guys. I mean, anything you're gonna hit off-roading, it's just gonna take it. Now, the favorite thing that I like about the front of the vehicle is the suspension. They have done something to the suspension that I haven't seen in any other vehicle yet. Check this out. This is truly genius. The whole setup is in there, but they took the sway bar and put it back here. Why would they do that? They would do that because when you are off-roading, you do not want to hit your sway bar in front. You do not want to have your sway bar in front of your control arms or anywhere around there, because if you hit it, you can damage it. Second of all, you don't want it to be caught on anything. You don't want that to limit you from, off-roading and trying to clear an obstacle. So super genius what they did there. Ford, you can just tell when a company really builds something with purpose. And when you see that, it completely shows you that that was their motive. Ford, great job. I'm super impressed. Now underneath the front suspension, you're gonna have some nice Bilstein shocks. That's your reservoir. And guys, this thing rides so good. Off-road, on-road, you name it, they have it dialed completely to what it needs to be. Now we're gonna start moving to the side of the vehicle. So really nice mirrors, super wide, not too wide. It almost looks like a moose mirror. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with moose mirrors, that's a Dodge truck owner thing. I think it's because of this right here that kind of comes into the vehicle. I think that's what makes it look wider than it really is. You come to the side of the vehicle, you have your Badlands badge there, and that is a badge to have because that means you have this package. You're gonna have a guard here to make sure that you do not tear up your body. I'm just surprised that they just added that, just like that. They're telling you they want you to go beat this thing up. And it's tough, right? I thought it was gonna be kind of soft. You're gonna really have to go crazy to beat that thing up. And Ford is always keeping it classy with the pin code engagement to open the door. You come to the top of the roof here. I think the aesthetic of it is super sweet. Nice and retro, nice and square. It looks good with the body. And then you have a super nice roof rack on top. You could just strap anything down that you want. It's nice and thick and solid. Now remember, this is a two-door, so it is actually gonna be pretty short. When you look in the rear wheel well here, you can see it's nice and clean and tons of room for any kind of flexing that you need to do. You're gonna be riding on Goodyear Territory MT tires. These are gonna be 315/70/17s. These are like 35-inch tires. These are massive. It's just crazy that they built a vehicle that can fit 35s from the factory. And you're gonna see later in the video, I'm gonna do an off-road test. We flexed this suspension completely out and it did just fine. Now, when you get to the back, you have a fifth wheel. That is still gonna be a bead lock and a full spare.
That is super awesome to have that full spare, because if you actually blow a tire, you're not running around on some donut. You can actually take that tire and get, continue your trek across the country or whatever, or wherever you're going. Bumper is going to be plastic on top, but it's full metal underneath. That plastic just allows you to keep it nice and clean, and you can always put conditioner to keep it nice and shiny. I'm not really going to go into the interior yet, but the tailgate is super sturdy, guys. This feels like a G-Wagon tailgate. I also really favor the Bronco rear lights. They look nice and solid. Back to the back bumper, you're gonna have tow hooks here. You're gonna have one, and you're gonna have another one right there on the right side. You have a tow hitch and all your connectors right there, and your sensors are right there for your parking. You have a really nice and detailed polished aluminum logo. Now we're gonna stick this camera underneath the rear and show you guys how beefy everything is. Check that out. Everything is so solid, guys. You're gonna have to really put a beating on this thing to do any damage. And I also want to show you guys that this thing has, I think, 3 skid plates. Check this out. You got one in the front right there. You got another one right here, and I believe you have another one. It might just have 2. Oh yeah, you have another one all the way in the front. Totally forgot about that. And if you want another peek at the sway bar disconnector, it's right up in there. I want to pop the hood and show you guys something that I didn't think Ford did intentionally, but there's a good chance they did. And if they did, goodness, Ford. So when you pop the hood, you have a 2.7 liter twin turbo V6. When I heard that the new Bronco was going to be twin turbo, I was like, oh boy, when these things are high mileage and there's no warranty, these things are going to be hard to work on and whatnot. When I opened the hood on this thing, this is one of the easiest engines to service yourself if you ever considered doing it. For example, look at the turbochargers. They are right there. The downpipes are right there. So that means you could upgrade the turbocharger, service anything that you need to service, change the O2 sensor, anything like that. Super easy to get to. All of your tubing is on top of the engine. Super easy to access. And if you ever want to change a spark plug or coil pack, 1, 2, 3, right there. And don't forget, this is a V6. So then you're gonna have 3 on the other side as well. 1, 2, 3. And check out this radiator fan right in the front. Super clean, super easy. And guys, ECU module right there, and you have another module right here. I'm not sure what this one's for. Look at how they separated the fender from the body. I don't know if they did that on purpose, but what it does, it allows people that are off-roading these vehicles to be able to wash and clean up in there. So now let's go into the interior, and then we're gonna do some off-roading. So now that I'm in the interior, the doors, it's modern, but it's also retro. You got a handle there, you got a handle there for your passenger. You have one for yourself when you're getting in and out. Or, I don't think you can grab it with the door closed. I guess you could, but you should keep your hands on the steering wheel. You're gonna have a vent right there to help defog your window, and then you're gonna have space all on the dash, guys. You have a charger, a USB out port up here, and I think you have a USB and a USB-C. And then when you get to your switches on your dash, you're gonna have your sway bar disconnect, front locking diff, rear locking diff, and then you're gonna have a cool feature that allows you to lock one tire so that you can engage the other tires and pretty much do a 0 degrees turn like a lawnmower. It's absolutely incredible. And then you have your traction control and your flashers there. The steering wheel is super comfortable, nice and kind of thick. The gauge cluster is super nice, super fast, guys. And I'm gonna say that the infotainment system in this Bronco is hands down one of the fastest infotainment systems I've used in any vehicle. It's like using an iPad. All of your switches are right here for your fan and even your tune control. If you want to turn off your auto start and stop, it's right there, and all of your parking and camera. You press that right there. You have great space in the rear. You also have a USB and a USB-C right here. The roof comes off and even the doors come off, but they are built with such a high quality material that when you're driving on the road, you can barely hear any road noise. I'm also a big fan of all these auxiliary switches right here. It kind of gives you the motivation to modify your Bronco. Now you have your drivetrain select here. So you have 2 high, 4 automatic, 4 low, 4 high, and then you're gonna push this one right here in the middle. And that is a 1-pedal driving system. So when you're in 4 low, when you get off the gas, the vehicle automatically stops and brakes for you. It's super nice when you're off-roading. I didn't think that was something that I wanted, and now I'm like in love with this. This is super, super cool. You get a cool little badge here letting you know that the vehicle is made in Michigan. Just a nice little touch to remind you what you're driving. All of your window switches are right in the center console, and even your mirror control is through the center console. I actually like that because it keeps the doors nice and raw, and you kind of have to do that because the doors come off, so to save weight. But just the fact that they put them right here is super nice and super convenient. Now we're gonna hop out and we're gonna go to the back here and show you guys the space. So that is my camera bag and that is my water mug. The back space is pretty convenient. As you can see, this is my backpack. This is a full-size backpack. I can lay it down just like that and it's got enough space. So that kind of gives you a reference on how much space you have in the rear. I'm not sure if the four-door model has more space or not, but that's really all you need, because if you buy a Jeep Wrangler, it's just about the same. All right, guys, now it's time to do an off-road test. I know you guys have been waiting for this. Just for reference, you can see how tall this little incline is. Some people in the comment section were like, dude, that's nothing. It comes to the top of the hood on this Bronco, and I just want to say, this is not a stock height Bronco. This thing is, it's got 315, 75, 17s, and I'm 6'1", and you can see this comes up pretty high. So it's definitely a good obstacle. And for all those people in the 4Runner video that said that the ground is soft and that's why it couldn't go up it, let me borrow that camera real quick. You can see that the ground is clearly slightly wet, okay? You can see that right there. So let's get started. I think this is gonna be an interesting climb. Let's see the best mode. Rock crawl is gonna be the best mode here. 4 low, and I'm gonna go ahead and lock the front diff, the rear diff, and I'm going to disconnect the sway bar in the front. All right. Let's see what it do. So because of the super high front bumper on the Bronco, I barely need to hit it at like a certain angle. It seems like you can just pretty much approach it almost straight on. It seems, I mean, this is incredible. So I'm gonna go as slow as I can. You guys know how I do this. And don't forget, the ground is wet. The flex is pretty good. I can feel it. And guys, I'm going slow as I can go. As slow as I can go, guys. All right. That, I think, was a little bit too easy. So this next hill is a lot steeper. Like, it even looks steeper from when I usually come here to test vehicles. So right now the diffs are unlocked because I had to pull it around to this spot. So I'm going to put it in neutral, lock the front, lock the rear, and the front sway bar is disconnected. You're going to really see how much flex this thing has, because this, guys, this is pretty steep. This is like, it's pretty freaking steep. Slow as I can go. And guys, I'm so sorry about the beeping. All right, we got the front up. That definitely maxed out the suspension in the rear. I felt that. Now we are crawling, guys. As slow as I can possibly go. Oh my gosh. So what do you guys think about that? That was pretty impressive for me. I've brought several vehicles out, and if you haven't seen those videos, go to my channel, go check out the off-road test. Not every vehicle can do it that well, and especially the conditions weren't ideal. It is muddy. I don't know if you guys can see, but there's mud on the tires, there's dirt on the tires. It is slightly muddy. The Bronco can hang, guys. It has proven itself. It's pretty capable. So thanks for watching. Time for me to sign out. This Bronco was reviewed by Tim, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Hit that bell notification or I'm gonna come find you. Take care. Peace.